Hey, what's up you guys, it's Caboose bringing you another Mortal Kombat 11 video, and I know it's been a while since I've last said that, but yes, I'm still covering MK on this channel, and today what I got for you guys here is some news that Ed Boon may have potentially teased Mileena for DLC in MK11. Keyword is potentially though. Before we get into everything, I wanted to ask you guys, of course, if at any point you enjoy this video, if you could consider leaving a like rating on it, it would show your support, and I would really appreciate it. So if you enjoy the video at any point, leaving a like rating would be awesome. And with that said, well, let's jump into this. So Ed Boon has been doing some tweeting for the last couple of days, and that's why I do want to make sure that everybody knows that none of this is really officially confirmed or even officially teased. Ed Boon does a lot of this stuff on Twitter. He usually likes to mess around with the fan base, so don't put too much stock into this. However, it's just interesting to see that Ed Boon has been talking a lot about Mileena lately, so let's talk about it. It all started late at night on July 1st. Ed Boon was actually talking about YouTube TV when he tweeted this. Imagine cutting the cable TV cord for YouTube TV because they charge only $35 a month. Then they raise it to $50 a month. Now they raised it to $65 a month. Would you be pissed? And I mean, yeah, admittedly that is a little outrageous, but at the end of the tweet, he just caps it off with hashtag we want Mileena. And I'm assuming that's just because no matter what Ed Boon tweets, that's what he gets in his replies. And I feel like he's just kind of embracing that and joking around with that side of the fan base. But then he just kept going with it. He followed up after that tweet with a meme that somebody made of Mileena holding a gun. And he captioned the tweet WTF. And in the image, it says Mileena for DLC. And then somebody replied saying, "We love you, Ed," with an image attached that was essentially asking for Mileena to be in a potential Combat Pack 2. And then Ed Boon replied to this saying, "We love you too, but technically this would be Combat Pack 3. I'm guessing what he means here is that the Aftermath DLC was pretty much their Combat Pack 2. It wasn't officially titled as such, but because it was the next batch of DLC, it's kind of considered the Combat Pack 2 for MK11. And then kind of in response to a massive tweet that blew up from like the official @Twitter account, Ed Boon put out a tweet the next day saying, "For that matter, you can have Mileena when everyone wears a mask." Mileena fans, you know what to do. But then to cap off all the Mileena talk, Ed Boon was on a podcast just yesterday with Victor Lucas, of course, the host of Electric Playground. This was the Vic's Basement podcast. There's a link in the description box below if you want to check out the entire podcast. There's a lot of great insight from Ed Boon about just the Mortal Kombat history, so I'd highly recommend checking it out. But regardless, around the 8-minute and 38-second mark, Victor Lucas asked Ed Boon, "What's the thing you hear the most from fans?" And obviously Ed Boon brings up the "We Want Mileena" crowd, but in that he mentions, like, fortunately or unfortunately for NetherRealm's case, they know that NetherRealm is listening, and they know that NetherRealm has responded. So obviously, with that, the Mileena fans, they're just gonna ask 100,000 times. And while Ed Boon is saying all this jokingly, he does bring up a point that NetherRealm does listen, and they have responded to fan requests before, plenty of times before. You know, we got Martian Manhunter in Injustice Gods Among Us, we ended up getting Black Manta in Injustice 2, now here in MK11 we get probably the highest requested guest character for the history of NetherRealm games being Spawn, so they've listened to us. And so that's why it's really intriguing to me to see Ed Boon tweeting so much about Mileena, to be talking about Mileena on podcasts, because it feels like he might be teasing something. At the same time though, there have been plenty of instances in which Ed Boon just does this, and he's just messing with the fans, and that's all there is to it. It's just one of those cases where we're gonna have to wait to find out. But I honestly think overall that the DLC is not done for Mortal Kombat 11. That's at least in my opinion. We've rounded out now at 9 DLC characters, which is exactly how much we had in Injustice 2, and if NetherRealm is to follow trend, they've always released more DLC characters in the following game than they did in the previous one. You know, MK9 had 4 DLC characters, or 5 if you include Kratos as the PlayStation exclusive, and then with Injustice Gods Among Us, we got 6 DLC characters. Then in MKX, we got 8, and then of course Injustice 2 had 9 DLC, but maybe you could consider it to be more than 9 if you were to look at the Ninja Turtles as each individual character, but regardless, they were technically 9 DLC characters. And so now here we are with MK11 pretty much at that mark as well, so I have a feeling that we're going to get another batch of DLC, whether it's a Combat Pack 2 or whether they want to just release Mileena as a standalone, I'm not entirely sure. And I know that there are two sides to this Mileena crowd. There are definitely people who love this character, want to see her desperately in the game, and there is a side of people who are like, nope, don't want Mileena, she's dead. And I'm kind of somewhere in the middle. I kind of look at the we want Mileena crowd the same way that I did regarding the Snyder Cut situation. You know, there are plenty of people who want Mileena to be in the game that are just passionate Mortal Kombat fans, and that's all there is to it. They just want the character because they love the character, and Mortal Kombat 11 is admittedly the best looking Mortal Kombat game to date, and to have Mileena be a part of that is certainly something that would be special for the fans of the character. That being said, there is definitely a side to the Mileena fan base that is a little bit much. There is a side of the fan base where if I were to just say, you know, I don't really think I want Mileena in the game, they would get super aggressive about it. And that's why I've kind of just stayed away from it. Like I said, similar to the Snyder Cut scenario, there are people who wanted the Snyder Cut that are genuine people who want to see a director's vision just come to fruition, but there was also just an extremely toxic side to that fan base, and so I kind of just stayed away from it, which is exactly what I did when it came to Mileena in MK11. If she ends up being DLC, then cool. I'll be glad for that side of the fan base that was passionate about the character and that wanted her to be in the game, and I'll definitely look forward to trying her out myself and get some online episodes out with Mileena. But again, it's all really a matter of if. And with that said, I now bring it to you guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. Based on everything I provided in this video, do you think Ed Boon is teasing Mileena for DLC? And as a general note, do you want Mileena as DLC in the game or not? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And of course, if you enjoyed this video, if you could consider leaving a like rating on it, it would show your support, and I would really appreciate it. I'm Caboose, and you can click on screen to make your way to one of the other videos on the channel, or you can click my logo to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. You can also follow me on Instagram and Twitter. Those links are in the description. Drop a like if you enjoyed, leave a comment if you have an opinion, and subscribe if you're new. See you guys later.